I think the larger reason, or the reasons are, outlined in the late Panchen Lama's this 70,000 character petition address to the Chinese government. This petition was handed over by the late Panchen Lama to the Chinese government around 1962. So in this petition, he addressed all the causes of alarm and discontent experienced by the Tibetan people. One primary cause of the unhappiness of the Tibetan people, which he outlined in great detail, was Communist China's constant assault on Tibetan Buddhism. At the same time, he outlined the constant assault faced by the Tibetan language, the decreasing use of Tibetan language, and the increasing promotion of Chinese as the language of this instruction and language of medium in official circles. So, in fact, as far as I remember, in the petition, the Panchen Lama said that if the situation continues like this, Buddhism would have no future in a socialist China. So these are the reasons which, these are the causes of discontent of the Tibetan people, and all these grievances addressed by the Panchen Lama or highlighted by the Panchen Lama have not been addressed by the Chinese government. And the immediate cause of so many young Tibetans setting themselves on fire is the present Chinese administration's increasing interference in the working of the monastic education system, their insistence that the monks, nuns denounce His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So in Tibetan Buddhism, all Tibetan Buddhists regard His Holiness the Dalai Lama as their ultimate access to the teachings of the Buddha. So if you accuse your or if you criticize your ultimate or root teacher, it would be worse than denying the teachings of the Buddha himself. So I feel these are some of the several reasons why there is this increasing degree and frequency of young Tibetans who are self-immolating. So the big picture is that young Tibetans think that there is no future for the cultural integrity of this Tibet. Tibet has a distinct culture and civilization. The demands as expressed by them is that they want freedom in Tibet. They want to see His Holiness the Dalai Lama return to his homeland. So these are two cardinal demands, and till now the Chinese government has made no attempt to address or to meet these key demands. So as far as freedom for Tibet is concerned, all Tibetans, like citizens of any other country, want to enjoy freedom of speech, want to have the right to promote their own culture, their own language. So in a way, Tibetans want freedom to protect and promote their culture, which they believe is has something valuable to contribute to the well-being of humanity. And as far as His Holiness is concerned, he is the symbol of Tibet. He represents the culture which China these days is so actively trying to undermine. So meeting these two demands will, I feel, will improve the conditions of the Tibetan people. So the Chinese government's response is that instead of meeting these really reasonable demands, they are criminalizing the relatives or family members of people who self-immolate. They are cracking down very hard on the Tibetan people by increasing surveillance, by placing more cameras to act as a surveillance equipment on the activities of the Tibetan people, and instead of trying to find out the root causes of the unhappiness of the Tibetan people, they are making things worse by using their distinct advantage, which is military might, to press down on the Tibetan people. The Central Tibetan administration's position is that we are not encouraging people in Tibet to self-immolate. We feel that human life is very precious, that it should be we should use this life to contribute to make our own individual contribution to the people of Tibet and to Tibetan culture. But at the same time, we understand the reasons why so many young Tibetans are driven to self-immolate. They are faced with the unfeeling, really government which has no respect for their genuine grievances. So these are the conditions which drive these young Tibetans to self-immolate, in order for them to highlight the grievances of the Tibetan people on the whole. And once they have self-immolated, as Dr. Losang Sengye has said so many times, as Buddhists we pray for their soul, and as Tibetans we express the sympathy and our solidarity for their aspirations, which we think are very, very reasonable. I think the crisis can be resolved only by the Chinese government having a fresh look at the petition given to the Chinese government way back in 1962 by the Panchen Lama, the 10th Panchen Lama. In this really detailed report, he has articulated all the reasonable aspirations of the Tibetan people. And it is not only the late Panchen Lama who has risked his life to articulate Tibetan grievances. There are, for example, Baba Pinzo Wongkyal, who was a founder of the Tibetan Communist Party and who was this interpreter between Mao Zedong and His Holiness when His Holiness was there for less than a year in China. So all these people have, all these leaders who have worked within the Chinese establishment said that the Chinese government should consider His Holiness the Dalai Lama as an active ally and a partner to help China to resolve the issue of Tibet. So in this way, I feel the crisis in Tibet can be resolved if China takes a fresh look at its Tibet policy, and in reviewing its policy, put in place a set of policies that go to meet the aspirations of the people of Tibet.